Welcome to day 12 of our Burnout Breakthrough Series. It is my hope and intention that somehow, some way, you had a breakthrough. Because let me tell you something. What happened during these 12 days was I had breakthroughs. I had breakthroughs on every single episode of some kind, some way. And that was the intention I set before I ever got started. So let's talk about the days in review and get more details about it. Welcome to Kathie's Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Kathie Owen. On day 1, I recorded the episode, but I explained that burnout is multifaceted. It has so many different components of it that we don't even realize we're burning out until it's too late. And this happened to me. I was experiencing burnout at the very end of my corporate job, and I didn't even realize that's what it was. And it had a ripple effect. That's the thing about burnout. It has a ripple effect. It goes into your entire world. It affects everyone around you. And my hope is to help people overcome burnout through physical exercise, through mental health awareness, through emotional intelligence, through reading books and learning how to live your life more mindfully. And that's what all of these episodes entailed. On day 2, I had a leadership expert come in. And what he taught us was leadership is not all about control. It's actually helping your team to thrive and become resilient. When we experience team burnout, your leader is a key to helping you overcome that burnout. So leadership is an important component of corporate wellness programs that are holistic and effective. Because what happens at work, we become under pressure. How are we going to thrive through that? So I invite you to listen to day 2 again, or give it a quick listen and see what you take away from that. Day 3 was a chiropractor. My friend, Dr. Gomez, her insights were extremely powerful. She taught us some things about neuroscience and addiction and dopamine that actually get adjusted when you adjust your spine. Because your spine is the central core of your nervous system. And when we have burnout, it comes from the nervous system. And we want to become aware of these signs. And I'm telling you, Dr. Nancy's episode was extremely powerful because I didn't realize that chiropractic care could actually help you balance out your nervous system, balance out your dopamine. You got to give that one a listen too. Day 4 was mindfulness with my friend Pam Butler. She's a hypnotherapist, but she also does what I call lunch and learns with tarot cards. Yeah, that may sound a little bit esoteric, but what happens when you do these tarot card readings with Pam on this? You gain clarity on your strengths. Because what happens, and I've learned this through these episodes, is that burnout is a problem where we don't realize our strengths. We don't realize our boundaries. And it's very helpful to understand your strengths. And when you read these tarot card readings with Pam, you would notice, oh, wow, I have this strength and I'm going to use that to my benefit. And it just complements all the other episodes. This also helps us practice self-compassion, which helps us get through burnout and create awareness of it. Because as I stated at the very beginning, in the very first episode, we don't even know we're in burnout, usually. And it has a ripple effect, and it starts with you. And that ripple effect of self-compassion is explosive. I mean, explosive ripple effect. On day 5, we talked about stress management with an online personal trainer. Her name is Hyundai. Hyundai taught us that we need to understand the triggers that are triggering us into burnout, into anger, into frustration. And these triggers are what cause us to have stress. And Hyundai taught us simple techniques that we can incorporate into our day to bring calm and clarity into our daily life. There's that word again, clarity. That's going to come up often because what I find is clarity is the one element that is missing when we're having burnout. That's why I created this series, is to bring awareness to when we're having burnout, because once you're aware, you can start to learn your clarity of your triggers. And that's what Hyundai taught us on day 5. Let's go to day 6, which was wellness and movement with my friend Jenna. Jenna's a Pilates instructor. That's her main background. And so she taught us that simple movement into your day helps to release tension, re-energize your body, and prevent burnout. One thing Jenna did recently in her Facebook group and in her program is she did a reset. And she taught people how to reset your system through fasting and becoming aware of what we're putting into our bodies. And she had a gentleman who lost 10 pounds and his whole energetic system became different because he's one of my coaches and one of my mentors. And I just watched him transform. And I think this reset was just 5 days. So a lot of times what we do, how we're doing our movement, how we're standing and sitting, that can affect our burnout and affect our stress levels. So I invite you to re-listen to Jenna's episode as well on wellness and movement. And day 7, I brought in my friend Nick, and he taught us tapping exercises. So tapping for emotional freedom technique or thought release technique. I think that's what it's called. But Nick taught us that tapping can be very beneficial in helping release burnout. In fact, Nick is one of my coaches, and he walked me through the Quick Nick, and he also walked us through the Quick Nick tapping program that helped us overcome the stress and anxiety. And I had so much release after that one session with Nick. And actually, he offers a session at a discounted price. If you want to learn more about that, just check out the blog post that Nick is included in there. And in fact, I will be including the links to all of the episodes in one link that you can go look at. There's bonus resources in each blog post, the video, the podcast episode, and the transcript. Whatever you prefer to look at on this episode, you can go check that out. Day 8, I had a financial expert come in, Natalie Kime, and Natalie taught us that financial stress is one of the major stressors and causes of burnout. We're human. We need money to survive, but we need to know how to balance that money. We also need to know where our priorities are when it comes to finances and our financial wellness. One thing I love about what Natalie taught us when it comes to holiday burnout is to make memories a priority. When we make memories a priority, especially over gifts, we are making a difference in our lives that is impactful and also relieves that burnout and that financial stress. Because let's face it, sometimes our Christmases are not going to be what we always think they're going to be. But if we focus on making positive memories and making things work in a positive fashion and making memories with our children, creating things that don't cost any money at all, it makes a difference. On day 9, I brought in a world-renowned hypnotist. His name is Leonard Johnson. The thing that Leonard taught me is we are hypnotized all day long. All kinds of things hypnotize us. He brought to my attention, he asked me before we ever did the interview, he asked me, he said, "Have you ever been hypnotized?" And I was like, "No, not actually that I know of." He goes, "That's right, that you know of. But when you think about it, you're hypnotized all day long." Leonard taught us a fabulous technique to hypnotize yourself into being calm, being relaxed, realizing that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And as I say that, I realize that I got some of my days messed up. So don't worry about it. The links will be in the show notes and description below. I created one page that includes all of the episodes, all 12 of them, and you can find each episode and what they taught on this page. And it shows all 12 days in order or in maybe reverse order. But what happens is you can go look at that page and find what we're talking about. So back to Leonard Johnson. He taught us that we can hypnotize ourselves with our imagination, which can be a very powerful thing. We can talk ourselves into being relaxed and calm and in a better state and guiding people through a powerful imagination process that can change your life. And then on day 10 was take from Generate Magic. Did you know we all have an innate ability to generate magic? And what I love about what Kate taught us is the fact that you don't need anything to create this magic. You already have it in your possession. You don't need to go out. It's kind of like what Natalie taught us on our finance day, that you don't need to create it on the outside. You just bring it inside. I also like how she taught us to reframe our challenges as opportunities. Just reframe them. And when you reframe them, you start to look at things in a different light. And this is something I did throughout the entire Breakthrough of Burnout series. I broke through a lot of my burnout that I was experiencing on the inside, which leads me to day 11, which was Cynthia. Cynthia is a manifestation coach. And manifestation is just imagination. It's just magic because she helped me come through a breakthrough. I had a discovery call with her before we ever did this episode. And I realized right quick, actually, let me rephrase that. She realized right quick where my stop was, where my burnout was coming from. And it was coming from rewards and recognition outside, and not just anybody rewarding and recognizing me. I'm very confident I don't need a lot of rewards and recognition because I've learned to overcome that. But what happened was authority positions were giving me a lot of headache. They were giving me a lot of burnout. In my corporate job, my manager was actually bullying me. She was talking down to me. She was being rude to me. And that is not okay. And it wasn't until I left the job and totally got validated on my emotions by following certain people on Instagram that I realized this was not okay. This is not right. And this is not healthy. And when you don't train your leaders how to manage people, how to talk to people, how to be emotionally intelligent, let's go back to day 2. When you don't train your leaders on this, it has a ripple effect. And this ripple effect hit me hard because I realized when I had that discovery call with Cynthia that my cause of burnout was I was seeking recognition outside of myself. This is not good either. I don't need her to approve me. I don't need her talking down to me to make me feel bad about myself, to make me feel bad about the work that I do. Fortunately for me, I have an entrepreneur spirit. So I always do things out of the kindness of my heart. I do it out of my entrepreneur spirit. I'm innovative. I'm trying to create new things. And this leader was putting me in a box, and that's not okay. But I had that breakthrough where I was like, you know what? I don't need her to approve of me. I don't need this. I don't need that. And it made that shift possible. So, in closing, all 12 days were very powerful, very insightful. I invite you to give them a listen. If you'd rather read, like I said, I include the transcript on all the blog posts that are included in the show notes and description below. If you would like to work more with me, I am fixing to open up a group coaching program. And this group coaching program will work with corporate wellness companies. Eventually, the companies that I consult with will have their employees inside this group coaching program. I'm having opening up of this. If you've worked with me before and you're going, I miss Kathie, I want my fitness trainer back, I want my coach back, this is a great way to work with me because this is going to be a small group. And the only way you can get in there is to book a discovery call with me. I have a link to that in the show notes and description below as well. Because, let me say, because I'm not trying to sell this to you. I'm trying to see if we are a fit, if this is mutually beneficial. And we'll see if it is and if it's for you. All right, that's my episode for today. I trust that you found it helpful. If you know somebody who can benefit from this, please share it with them. And until next time, I will see you next time. Peace out and namaste.